All you have to do to win any debate with Khive is this. Kamala Harris has a 32% approval rating. That's all you have to do. Anytime you get into a fight with a Khiver, just copy that and paste it. Don't get into some down in the weeds about Bernie or anything. Just go, Kamala Harris has a 32% approval rating. I mean, and the real left, we were just being absolutely pummeled. Or AIPAC has spent $7 million against Donna Edwards in a primary. In a congressional primary. $7 million. I don't know what to say other than that is an incomprehensible sum. That's more than senators used to raise like 2 years ago. This is over. I mean, the wealth on the right is unbelievable. Unbelievable, dude. AIPAC spent Ivy defeats Edwards in bitter, high-profile Maryland primary for House. Israel policy played a major role, with AIPAC spending nearly $6 million to boost them. The former top prosecutor in Prince George's County has defeated ex-Congresswoman Danya F. Edwards in Maryland's 4th Congressional District. The race in the Deep Blue District now has a far-right prosecutor AIPAC shill. GG, man. Jesus Christ. Ivy was helped to victory with millions of dollars of outside spending, a showcase of largely unlimited influence that national special interest groups can wield in political campaigns. A super PAC affiliated with the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee, which endorsed Ivy, spent $6 million helping him in the race. An enormous sum in a primary House race, and flooded the airways with attack ads targeting Edwards. Roughly half of Ivy's more than $1 million of fundraising contributions also came from AIPAC donors. The dude got $6.5 million fucking dollars from AIPAC people. Huge resources from the powerful pro-Israeli lobbying arm gave Ivy the resources to be competitive with a much better known Edwards, with backing from major Democratic figures including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and powerhouse advocacy groups such as Emily's List. He acknowledged the central AIPAC and its affiliated super PAC United Democracy Project played in the campaign. Ivy said he was comfortable with AIPAC's involvement in the race because he supports AIPAC's values and positions on Israel, and because he's believed the content of ads from the United Democracy Project were fair. The ads allege Edwards had poor constituent services while in office. Notice how these disgusting Israeli scumbag PACs don't talk about Israel. They just run negative campaigns. Holy shit. Regardless of these national players coming in on both sides and spending millions of dollars to weigh in on the race. Both sides, chat, both sides. This is Citizens United right here. This is Citizens United. Incredible. Edwards received strong support from the more liberal Israel policy group J Street, which spent $700,000. So she was outspent 10-1 on the Israel issue. 10-1. A strong pro-Israel progressive. So what's going to happen is the Democratic Party is going to be turned over the knee of AIPAC and just become totally worthless, as the Republican Party basically cements one-party rule. Because there's unlimited money in these campaigns. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. $6.5 million fucking dollars of negative ads is like unbelievable. She wasn't an incumbent. She was a former congressperson who is coming back. Jesus Christ, dude. I'm not trying to be a bummer. I'm not trying to be a bummer today, chat. I just like, holy fucking hell, man. Ryan Clancy and Darren got endorsed by DSA National last night. Based. That's based. Fuck me. Did you talk about Joe Rogan saying to shoot the homeless? What? What? When did he say that?
Joe Rogan's repulsive podcast comments about shooting homeless people stuns LA's unhoused advocates. Joe Rogan's recent offhand remark to podcast guest Tom Segura that maybe you should just go shoot the homeless people in Los Angeles has left several of the city's unhoused advocates stunned and disheartened. In the July 14th...
Okay. I'm sorry, I wanted to hear the robot.
And then we're on the underpass, and there's porta potties. Not one either, like 4, like a deck of porta potties. And then someone has a car parked there on the sidewalk, like partly on the sidewalk, so they're like half blocking a lane, and then they have like a canopy draped over their car, and they have just stacks of shit, and then next to it was a dresser. They had a dresser.
Jesus.
So they had their shoes in a shoe rack. There was a shoe rack. Like, this is where they live.
That's really wild. I didn't know also that you know, when you see stuff like that on the streets, at least in Los Angeles or maybe in California, that's protected property, like by law. You know that? Like if you were
so
to
you're
go,
not supposed to do that.
But like that's that person's property by law. If you were to
the
go,
homeless person's property is
Yes.
protected?
Yes, absolutely.
Huh.
If you were to go and try to move that or take that,
You'd get arrested.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But they wouldn't arrest you if you shot somebody.
Wait, you're supposed to be able to take people's property because you don't like them? Like, wait, I'm not following. I'm not following. Are you supposed to be able to steal people's shit if they're poor enough? See, this is the problem that you get. This is what happens when you have neoliberalism in power, because you get trapped in this situation where you're constantly trying to do harm reduction instead of solving the problem. The problem isn't to codify people's rights to live on the street. The solution is to have a robust public health system and public housing and social work and mental health treatment so that there isn't any homeless fucking people. So the question of, oh, can I go shoot them? Or, oh, can I take their property? It's not even a question. This isn't correct. Amy C3 covered it yesterday. Only what can fit in a small tub is their property. The rest can and is removed by authorities frequently. Not at all surprised. NATO official, thanks to the tier 1. California had a what? How big was California's surplus? The state surplus. They had a $97 billion state surplus in the budget. If I am Gavin Newsom, I go to my fucking people and I say, we're ending homelessness in California, period. We're going to identify every single homeless person in this state and we're going to get them into permanent fucking housing. And we're going to set up a system to end homelessness. We're going to build high quality public housing that middle class people want to afford, that want to live in. We're going to build real shit. Instead, what did they do with it? They sent people a check. That's a $7,500 vacation for everyone in California. This is more than enough to get every single person off the street. They can't do anything. They're useless. 3 times the estimated cost for high-speed rail. 2 times the federal student loan debt for California students. Look at how much money they have. They fucking did nothing with it. They could have got rid of every Californian student debt. They could have built the high-speed rail and got rid of everybody's student loan debt. What the fuck are you doing with it? This is neoliberalism. This is why Democrats are no better than Republicans. They have a fucking supermajority in California. What are they doing with $100 billion? Nothing. This is why we need fucking radical change, dude. The problem is free public housing will automatically be nicer than rentals that go for $900 a month. So you mean we have to undercut the private landlords? Oh no. Oh fucking no. Landlords might get fucked. Jesus Christ, he's dumb, dude.
Maybe we should just go and shoot the homeless people.
I like your ideas.
Yeah. And if nobody claims it, I mean, nobody does anything about violent crime in LA anymore. It's a fucking joke. Just
Dude, you're in
letting people out.
Austin. You're in Austin. What the fuck do you know? You're in Austin. Such a suburb boomer thing. That's what he is. A friend of mine got 25 years for a violent crime he did in San Diego. I know of somebody who's literally did a violent crime and they're going to prison for a long time. Like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, man. Could I just say that this is one of the funniest tweets I've seen? This is from RayyvanaTTV, who has a small part on TYT, you know, does shows on there occasionally. She's one of their co-hosts. Khive accounts love to say things like, you aren't even relevant anymore, or your 15 seconds of fame are up, to school shooting survivors. They're not long. Claiming fame by climbing on top of a pile of your former so-called friends deserves scorn and derision. I'm sorry the teenagers who witnessed their schoolmates be slaughtered and who dedicated their lives to activism on guns and America's broken political system don't like Kamala Harris, you fucking freak. You sick fucking freak. Anyway, I started making fun of that guy. And then he said, just say what you want to say about Khive. Say it with your chest. Be bold. Every single one of these people are fucking bots. His name is literally Pragmatic Obot. Pragmatic Obot. With a picture of Barack Obama giving a Medal of Freedom. Come on, man. All you have to do to win any debate with Khive is this. Kamala Harris has a 32% approval rating. That's all you have to do. Anytime you get into a fight with a Khiver, just copy that and paste it. Don't get into some down in the weeds about Bernie or anything. Just go, Kamala Harris has a 32% approval rating. Just, that's it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Have you considered that school shooting survivors hate Kamala because they are racist? Oh. Can you explain Khive? Basically, there is a group, there's a small group of about 5 to 10 DC-based consultants, one of whom worked for Newt Gingrich. Her name is Sally Albright. And they are, like third way, just the worst of the worst scumbags, right? And they have created a bot farm of people who are like toxic fans of Kamala Harris. And anytime someone, especially anybody who's like a Bernie Sanders or even like Elizabeth Warren level progressive, criticizes Biden or Harris for any reason, no matter how substantive, they will like try to intimidate a smaller account. Now, if you're a decent sized account like me, these people fucking block and run. I actually exposed that they were editing Kamala Harris's Wikipedia page, basically to make it a campaign website as opposed to what it should be, which is an encyclopedia about a fucking politician. They love to use GIFs as responses because that's the easiest thing to bot. So I actually, my personal belief is that Kamala Harris, like Khive, is in large part a bot farm by Sally Albright, a notorious former Newt Gingrich employee and right-wing Democrat consultant who got caught farming bots before. Anyway, it's just kind of funny. All right, let's watch this. The Second Thought video with More Perfect Union. What the fuck? This seems based.
I'm no saint, but I generally try to do the right thing.
Are you sincerely trying to save the world?
I'm trying to do good things. Good idea for an electric jet. Impossible, my middle name, I suppose.
Oh my god. Reddit made this guy rich.
Elon Musk has a pretty big pitch. He's the good billionaire using his wealth to protect the future of humanity. It's gotten him something most billionaires don't have, a fan base.
I've never signed a big life-size version of it.
First I want to say, I love you.
A 2021 poll showed Musk with a 50% approval rating, way higher than his fellow billionaires. This popularity has done very well for him.
Musk is now the 7th richest man in the world.
Musk is now the 4th richest man in the world.
Elon Musk is now the world's richest person again, according to Forbes.
We took a deep look into Musk's entire career,
Based on a car company that
SEC
doesn't
filings,
make
and interviews
cars.
to break down the story Elon tells about himself and how he leveraged it to accumulate wealth and power. This is The Classroom from More Perfect Union, and today we're going to look at how Elon Musk got rich.
The only way to get involved in the internet in '95 that I could think of was to start a company, because they want a lot of companies to go and work for. So I thought, well, we've got to make something that's going to return money very, very quickly.
Elon joined forces and funds with his brother Kimball. They drummed up some cash from investors, including $20K from their father, and started Zip2, a map and local listing company. Zip2 eventually planned to merge with CitySearch, but Elon wouldn't have been in charge. That did not sit well with him. At the time, a CitySearch executive said CitySearch wanted to focus on customers and financiers, while Musk wanted to focus on general visibility. Visibility for him.
I'd like to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. That'd be cool.
These disagreements led to the deal falling apart. This is a pattern for Elon, a need for sole credit and control. It's a huge part of his story. Zip2 sold, and Elon made $22 million, which he invested in his next project.
I've sunk the great majority of my net worth into X.com, which is the new banking and mutual funds company. So this is an ATM. What we're going to do is transform the traditional banking industry.
That quote defines Musk's strategy: promise revolutionary technology and highlight how he's risking his own money. As X.com took shape, investors and the board didn't think Musk had the experience to be CEO, so they brought in Bill Harris. Elon's co-founders were also unhappy. One accused him of promising the sun, moon, and the stars to the media when there was nothing there. Future SEC filings for the company even mention a lack of proprietary technology as a corporate risk. Eventually, Musk pushed out CEO Bill Harris and replaced him with himself to centralize authority. X.com merged with a competitor, Peter Thiel's Confinity. Confinity owned a piece of technology called PayPal. Musk and Thiel got glowing press coverage, but because PayPal came out of Confinity, a lot of the coverage centered Thiel. According to Ashley Vance's 2015 biography, Musk kept championing the X.com brand while most everyone else favored PayPal. Eventually, the company scrapped X.com to focus on PayPal, a decision the press gave Musk credit for. But mutiny was brewing. Executive Roloff Botha alleged Musk was hiding serious financial issues from the board. Employees put together a coup. They petitioned the board to fire Musk.
This is incredible. He's just this is just loser bullshit. Completely fucking worthless. Nothing of value being created anywhere.
And it worked. Musk was fired and replaced with Thiel. Botha said it was just in time. It would have killed the company if Elon had stayed on as CEO for 6 more months. Regardless, Musk hits it big when PayPal eventually sells, $180 million. He had been laying the path for his next move since college.
When I was in college, there were 3 areas that I thought would most affect the future of humanity: the internet, the transition to a sustainable energy and transportation sector, and space exploration, in particular the extension of life to multiple planets. With the capital that I got from the sale of PayPal, I was able to go into both those areas.
Enter SpaceX and Tesla. Musk wasn't with Tesla at the start. He invested in a company that already existed, but most media calls him a founder. What happened? We spoke with Edward Niedermeyer, author of Ludicrous, an in-depth examination of Tesla Motors.
Elon Musk was not one of the original founders of Tesla, right? There was these 2 guys, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, who'd actually incorporated the company. Musk came in because he wanted to do the same thing.
But like with his previous companies, Elon was focused on publicity, specifically public perception of himself as
and he was right about that. People want some guy. They want an Iron Man. They want some super visionary. They don't just want a boring company doing things like actually producing electric cars for an affordable price. No, you need self-actualization with your consumption. I bought a car and it's led by a visionary founder who's changing the world. You can't just buy a fucking car that gets you from point A to point B without spewing pollution. No. You have to be changing the world with your consumption. This is America's fundamental ideology in a nutshell. You can buy your way into whatever X. You can spend money and become a real man or a real woman or a real X. Money is what leads you to whatever your outcomes are. You consume. You want to show people you care about the environment? You consume free trade coffee and chocolate. That is what it is. And what you do, what you buy, what you own defines you. Not what you do. Not your impact on the world. Not the causes you fight for. No. What you consume. And that's what Reddit wanted to hear the most.
The visionary founder.
Part and parcel of being a hot startup, right, is you have to have that sort of charismatic, visionary founder. But it wasn't Elon Musk. It was Martin Eberhard. And in emails that leaked, it makes it very clear that being that guy, being the visionary figurehead of this company was really, really important to him. So shortly after this whole exchange and Musk getting really angry about his lack of prominence in the media coverage, he went and wrote the Top Secret Master Plan blog post. And this was really Musk's coming out party, positioning himself as really that visionary founder for Tesla. One of the really interesting things is that there's really not a lot in the Top Secret Master Plan, strategically anyway, that Tesla wasn't kind of already planning on doing.
It all culminated in Eberhard's ouster and a series of lawsuits, leading to a settlement with an important stipulation. Musk could legally call himself a co-founder of the company. Musk knew that to acquire more power, he needed to be called co-founder on paper. Musk has long insisted he never wanted to be CEO of Tesla. But after Eberhard's ouster,
they brought in 2 different new CEOs before Musk himself eventually took over.
Musk took over at a rough time, the 2008 financial crisis. Tesla needed an influx of capital.
Government!
Musk's usual strategies wouldn't work.
Government! Here comes government!
Capital that would normally provide that, such as the public markets, the debt markets, they're in shambles.
But a year earlier, Congress passed a $25 billion loan program for the Department of Energy. part of which would go to developing low-emission cars. Musk went on a media blitz trying to convince the public that Tesla deserved the loan.
It's helpful to let your congressman and senator know that you think companies like Tesla should get a portion of the ATVM program.
But public approval wouldn't be enough. At the time, Tesla only had 1,500 cars on the road, and hadn't truly proven that they could produce cars en masse or significantly reduce emissions. Tesla was stuck in a catch-22. They needed to show they had the support of other corporate investors, specifically traditional automakers like Daimler, the makers of Mercedes and other cars, but Daimler wouldn't be interested in investing if they didn't get the loan.
He'd announced that the loan was approved before Tesla had even submitted a complete application for the loan, let alone received any kind of actual approval for it. By saying that this was a done deal, that gave Daimler the confidence to partner with them. And having that partnership with a century-old, one of the biggest names in the car business, in turn gave the government the confidence in Tesla's viability to then ultimately give them
fraud.
the loan. And so it's this circular trick that Elon plays.
It was more than the money. It was a boost for public and investor relations. Just a few months later, Tesla registered for an IPO. Their SEC filing even admits the loan was essential to the business. But Tesla still isn't profitable. Their stated goal is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. But Tesla's actual strategy is exploiting well-meaning government climate programs. Look at carbon credits. Government permits to emit a certain quantity of greenhouse gases. Companies earn carbon credits for reducing emissions and have to spend them when they emit too much. Tesla earns a lot, then sells them to other companies, erasing whatever progress Tesla made. The boost from selling carbon credits led to some of the only profitable quarters Tesla had ever had. They even used to list regulatory credits and automobile sales in the same line in some SEC filings. It allowed Tesla to announce better financials and pull in more investors, retail and institutional. Musk gets paid almost entirely in stock. In 2021, Musk made 18,043 times the average Tesla employee. Tesla justifies that wild ratio to investors in SEC filings by arguing Elon's worth it. Elon Musk has contributed significantly and actively to us since our earliest days, raising capital, bringing investors, and raising public awareness. Yeah, Tesla's own SEC filings admit that the myth of Elon is inherently tied to the value of the company. If people stop believing in Elon, Tesla loses value, and Elon knows that. Regardless, Musk is still wildly wealthy from the promises he's made, and that's also made him very powerful. Elon says his goal is,
we want to maximize happiness of the population and propagate into the future as far as possible.
But he's really using that wealth and power as all billionaires do. Not to save humanity, but to crush it. He squashes worker power.
They fired me because I tried to improve the lives of my coworkers and myself. That's why they fired me, because it wasn't a part of Elon's plan.
And now that he has both power and a soapbox, his dangerous anti-government political beliefs are even more important. Previously, Elon was a liberal darling. Obama's 2015 State of the Union seemed to be written for Musk.
Solar power, Tesla. Re-energized space program, astronauts to Mars.
But as soon as Democrats questioned Musk, he changed, lashing out and announcing support for far-right figures and ideas. He likes the politicians willing to support his myth and let him continue building wealth at the expense of the rest of us. He isn't the only billionaire doing this, but his skill at myth building and his massive popularity make him the most dangerous. Musk tells a story of a self-made billionaire using his money to save the world and enrich humanity. But he really built his wealth on the backs of others to enrich himself.
That was pretty damn good. That's a pretty damn good video. What can he say? Are you watching the stream unsubbed? You're making income inequality worse. You are doing anti-praxis. We are the only Twitch stream that will not accept scam advertisers, and I will never fuck you over by selling you crap